Hays State Prison is all about control. The rules are strict and clear. No drugs, no cell phones, no weapons. Break the rules and get sent to isolation. But inmates push back, trade contraband, and smuggle in a never-ending battle for power.
We live here. They only work here.
Behind bars, there are two sets of rules: the prison protocol and the convict code.
Quit looking around, boy, before you get your ass skin up.
To survive one code, you may have to break the other. For 1 year, National Geographic followed the lives of inmates and correctional officers in the state of Georgia. When a paramilitary system is up against convicted felons, who's really in charge?
To the hole where you will stay.
This is a year locked in. In Georgia's prisons, control is about more than just shackles and handcuffs. At his home overlooking the prison, Deputy Warden of Security, Cedric Taylor, is up before the sun. Early starts are typical at Hays State. Today's gathering, though, is anything but ordinary.
What time is it?
Time? 15 after.
The prison is still mostly asleep. A perfect time for what Taylor has in mind.
Everybody awake this morning? Yes, sir. All right, guys. This morning, we're going to go in. We're going to do a little shakedown down here in D1, all right? In the last week and a half, we've had 2 fights that involve shanks. We know that guys in D building have been probably some of the most violent guys that we have inside this institution. We're going to go down there and we're going to look for good hard contraband guys. We're looking for buck, looking for cell phones, because cell phones it's been said that they're in there. We're looking for weapons, all right?
The inmates have no idea what's coming. The entire first and third shifts are en route for a thorough search of the dorm, a shakedown. This is one of the largest actions the prison can take.
Top, make sure they're all secured.
More than 30 officers blanket the cell house, searching every inmate, every room for contraband. And most importantly, weapons.
From a security standpoint, I am the person who's in charge here. And anytime I see anything that is out of place, out of order, that's an opportunity for me to go in, shake down, look, and see what's going on. To keep shanks and weapons, drugs, or whatever it may be, to keep that down, because it's an ongoing struggle to keep it out of here.
It is not long before the team uncovers what they're looking for.
Found a weapon taped down to the bottom bunk down there.
Let me see.
Where's he at?
That's new, too.
He says it ain't his. So we'll just snatch Martinez since it was under his bunk.
Yeah, this is what we're here for this morning. This is what we're looking for right here.
Today's find is another victory in what is an ongoing battle for control at one of Georgia's toughest prisons. Hays State Prison is like the jail within the prison system. High-security inmates and those that buck the rigid structure of Georgia's system are sent here. It's a disciplinary institution with a mission to house some of the toughest convicts in the state. Here, among this population of hardened criminals with nothing to lose, the rules of control are clear and deliberate. Each weekday begins with a morning inspection. Inmates must be clean-shaven, shirts tucked in, lockers in order as they present their rooms to the institution. There are 9 daily counts to check that inmates are present and accounted for. Break the rules, and the punishment is swift and decisive.
X3. Williams. Step on back. Step on back. What's wrong with this one, man? Tell me, why come your box wasn't straight?
We're not some judge, it's not some courtroom, but once you are here, there are rules and regulations you have to follow.
You're going to the hole. We're going to place you in the admin cell.
You lay the expectations out there, and it's up to those inmates, whoever it may be, to make a decision to fall in line with the instruction that we've given, or you can do the remainder of your time in segregation.
Despite the rigid rules of control, inmates push back. When officers' backs are turned, inmates gamble, run tattoos with makeshift equipment, and make homemade alcohol. Behind the lesser offenses, though, lies a greater danger.
120, 121, let's go!
Homemade weapons are constantly fashioned. Currency sometimes slips by security, and cell phones are smuggled in. Weapons can be used in attacks. Cell phones can be used for escape attempts. And currency can be used to bribe officers. Getting caught with any of these items guarantees you a trip to the back of the prison, to another tool of control for Hays, the Special Management Unit, or SMU. These are the inmates that have proven to be a threat to other inmates, to themselves, or in some cases, a threat to the very order of the prison itself. Morgan Corley is in the SMU again. Corley might not have the appearance of a hardened criminal, but looks can be deceiving.
No, I did. I did it to the fullest.
Morgan Corley used to be a truck driver, but discovered he had a talent for selling drugs. Corley's hustle was ice, smokable methamphetamine, and what started as deals over a few ounces soon became pounds per week, making Corley one of the biggest meth dealers in Georgia.
The money got so good and the power, I started loving the lifestyle. I got caught up.
Corley pled guilty to racketeering and is serving 9 years inside. His life of crime, though, didn't stop with his conviction. He has been to 16 different prisons and amassed more than a dozen charges behind bars.
I involve myself with people doing, things an institution don't allow. I do a lot of drug trade and cell phone trade, making money. I like to make money.
Making money behind bars, a far-fetched thought, requiring an elaborate network of people.
I'll find a guy in the prison that's able to move, who's like a flat top orderly or works in the whole, who's able to go to every dorm, every building, on the whole compound. And then I'll have him take it to where it's got to go. And then I have another guy who I have like a stash guy, maybe works in the kitchen, I can hide it in the freezer, where the dogs can't smell it, or, they never shake down. I'll have it hidden there, and as I need it, I have guys go to that guy and get it and take it to where it's got to go. And really, I'll just sit back and kind of direct what needs to happen. I'm never gonna get caught with nothing. I got people that I have selling it, holding it, taking care of that business for me. I never put myself in that jeopardy.
Corley fashioned himself as a chain gang godfather at the helm of a prison criminal enterprise. Now he claims his days of running drugs and cell phones have ended. But he's back in the hole again, this time for possession of a $50 bill. With no cash allowed in prison, it's incriminating evidence of illegal activity. Inmates like Corley are here for breaking the prison rules. But back here in the SMU, there is another class of inmate, new transfers. Reggie Williams has just arrived at Hayes, and like all new transfers, he is on 23-hour lockdown in the Special Management Unit, waiting for a bed to open up in general population. The time here is a chance for the prison to size up inmates, to determine whether they're predator or prey, and Williams leaves little doubt of his intent.
My natural instinct and my God-given birthright is to survive, and that's what I do. If I pray on somebody that's stronger, then that'll, further invoke my will to pray on somebody else. When I pray on somebody, I'm praying on the most dominant force that's out there. So I know when I make my move on him, then everybody else can't do nothing but respect him. That's gonna certify me at this institution.
It is an attitude carried forward from a life of crime on the streets.
By and large, I just chose the underworld over the working society.
Reggie Williams was always a small-time crook. Then in 2003, 3 adult novelty shops in the Atlanta suburbs were the targets of an escalating crime spree. During the third attack, a customer fought back and was killed. 9 months later, another inmate, already in jail, fingered Williams for the heists.
They accused me of malice murder, 11 counts of armed robbery. They charged me with a 47-count indictment.
Williams was found guilty on 43 counts and sentenced to life, plus 305 years. A sentence that has shaped his attitude behind bars.
It made me the most bitterest human being on the face of the earth. That somebody can just take your whole life away from you like that. It still hadn't just settled in.
For the severity of his crime, Williams was sent to one of the oldest prisons in Georgia, a place where he claims inmates called the shots, a place called Reidsville.
Reidsville was the dumpster for guys that couldn't adjust, that couldn't make it, that couldn't follow the rules, that didn't give a damn, It was 100% violent, and it was a place that you couldn't even show the slightest bit of weaknesses.
Now Williams will have to learn life at Hayes, which prides itself on control. But how much will this prison be able to control Williams?
This is a new environment, and I don't know what measures that I'm gonna have to take to establish myself. Sometimes it can be a peaceful resolution, and sometimes it can be violent resolution. But one way or another, I got to establish myself. There's no question about it. I got to establish myself firmly at this institution.
2 very different inmates, 2 very different tactics for survival in prison. And both have landed at Hayes. In the Special Management Unit at Hayes State Prison, lies another tool of control in the Georgia penal system, DR Court.
Let's take the oldest one first, see what happened here. Insubordination, Officer Barnes. How many times you got busted out there for having phones up here now? Twice?
It was in veg prep. I was eating a rib.
Even behind bars, the system can bring charges against inmates. Fighting, failure to follow orders, even failing to shave can get you a DR, a disciplinary report, and a hearing before Lieutenant Jose Lopez.
I gave him a direct order to return to his dorm. He refused. Inmate Sanders says, I will hurt somebody.
Did he push you against the locker?
Yes, sir.
Inmate Doc, with his hands in his pockets, turned his back to me and lifted his leg. He made the sound of passing gas. God, Lord. Did you do this? You're gonna do 10 more days. 10 days isolation, time served. This one's on me.
Today, Morgan Corley has his day in court on possession of a $50 bill.
I got a bad record. I got a pretty extensive history of possession of cell phones and dealing with stuff that I shouldn't be dealing with.
Hey, Cole, you got a DR here written on the 19th of June here for possession of currency by the cert member Officer Shropshire. While conducting the search of inmate Corley Morgan property, I found a U.S. $50 bill hidden inside inmate Corley's house shoes. How do you plead to the charge?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. You got a copy here of the $50 bill that was found out here. You done got busted.
No, I didn't. It wasn't mine. They had no proof to legitimize, how I possessed it. They found a pair of shoes up under my bunk, but they just want to charge me with it and lock me down and charge, with the possession. When actually, I wasn't in possession of it.
What do you think it was?
It wasn't mine. I had no knowledge of it. Didn't know nothing about it, never seen it.
Well, you haven't convinced me yet that this $50 was not yours.
I had no knowledge of it. I was just locked down because it was found under my bed, and it ain't fair. Actually, it was mine, but I never admit to nothing. Even though if I am caught red-handed, I'm never going to admit to it. It was mine.
Be honest with me. I can be lenient. Be honest with me. I can be lenient. Lying, drugs, possession of contraband, defacing property, lying, gestures, possession of contraband. It follows you. Now, Corley, you didn't give me enough information out here to prove that your innocence out there. I do find you guilty of possession of currency. I'm not going to keep you in isolation anymore out here right now, but you got 90 days LOAP.
Corley's punishment is 90 days loss of all privileges. No phone, no store, but also no more time in the hole. And as soon as a bed opens, Corley will be returning to general population.
My plans when I get out of the hole, do my little work, lay in my bed, write letters and just relax. I don't plan on doing nothing wrong, but if the opportunity presents me, it's pretty beneficial, I might do it. It's possible.
All right. Ready?
On the other side of the SMU, Reggie Williams is getting out. A bed has opened up in general population. Leaving the SMU behind, Williams gets his first taste of inmate life at Hayes, where movement is strictly controlled. Inmates must stay within a yellow line wherever they walk. For the prison, it is all part of keeping the standards of discipline and order.
Walking on the yellow line, I'm not a kid. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't want us to walk beside the yellow line, they just should put a half a sidewalk there. I should be free to roam all over the sidewalk as I please. It's a sidewalk. That's what it is. The totality of it is a sidewalk.
Transferring to Hayes has meant changes for Williams. His desires, though, have remained the same, making as comfortable a life as possible behind bars, whatever it takes.
However you come in here, that's the way you gonna go out. A lot is riding on that first day. I'm dealing with a life sentence and 305 years. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. And now my life is just in the dumpster because of that. It's hard for me to think positive. It's hard for me to have hope some days. I never got one thin dime from the streets. I've never been able to experience the luxury of going to commissary and buying me something that I want to eat.
It may sound trite, but in a world of limited privileges, the little things mean the most. The store, a collection of candy, cakes, snack foods, lotions, and soaps. They are goods that inmates purchase with money from family and friends. Goods that, like money, can fuel greed and envy. If wealth in here is measured by how much store you have, then poverty is living without. Williams has no family or friends putting money on his account, and without money, no store.
So now I'm forced in a situation where I got to survive by any means necessary. So now I don't have no hang-ups about doing nothing I have to do in here to survive. I'm not apprehensive about nothing. If it's robbing you, taking your commissary, if I can get away with it, I'll do it.
But getting away with it won't be so easy. Williams' new home is under constant scrutiny. Deputy Warden Taylor is again on the move and has enlisted the best team at the prison to work with him on another shakedown.
Tactical squads, these are guys who do this on a regular basis. They know exactly where to look. They know what they're looking for. You won't have no problems going through here, shaking this place down and pulling out a bunch of contraband if it's here.
Tonight, the target is weapons. Weapons that could be used to attack officers or rob other inmates.
Both of them on the wall. Just face wall. That's all you have to do.
We all wait on K9.
The dogs make a quick round through the common areas and cells.
This one too, Jason.
Then the tactical squad begins its hand search. At first, no weapons, but upon closer inspection,
What was this?
226.
It's just a magnet stuck to it and by the door and just sticks there. To the untrained eye, you wouldn't see that. You wouldn't look for it.
another shank. This one made from a piece of fence. Taylor will have to keep tightening the screws.
Close security means absolutely close security. I just can't see them allowing me to be me being able to be myself and exist in this environment. Everything is at a red light. Halt, stop. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. But I know one thing, I got to make it. Some kind of way.
There's guys in here who envy you. There's guys in here who want what you got, and they could try to rob you. I've been in situations before where I've been under the knife or up under the shank or whatever, and they've tried to rob me. But the outcome wasn't always what they wanted it to be. If they hit me for that one time and get me, they know it's gonna be the end of it.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
With his case now heard, Morgan Corley is getting out of the SMU.
Where you going to? A something?
I'm going to A1.
Well, hopefully I'll be over there with you.
We can't call right now. You got that thing on, right?
Yeah.
I'll holler at you later.
My partner, man, from way back.
Corley says he's out of the game, but he's clearly still considered a player.
Get my clothes. My clothes, I'm going to A-Bill now. Get my clothes over there. I've been transferred 16 times, so I've been to 16 prisons. I've been around a lot of inmates, so a lot of people know me or know about me.
A1, 203 bottom. And Corley, you're in A2, 213 top.
Corley's dorm assignment is A House, known by the inmates as the White House. Depending on who you talk to, the name comes from the racial makeup or the belief that inmates here call the shots. It's a dorm that could be a position of power for Corley, or a comfortable retirement home from his past life.
It's supposed to be a good dorm, so I'm gonna try to blend in and do good. I like the relaxed environment. I like it up here.
Across camp, though, the Prison Special Forces, the CERT team, has intercepted a package, and the contents have a familiar ring to them.
One of my officers, he got information that this inmate had 2 cell phones coming in. So, of course, that rings a bell in our head. Okay, we got a $50 bill. We heard there was a cell phone coming down on the compound further on down. The mail room searched them, and they found, for this particular inmate, they found 2 cell phones. And they were wrapped up in cellophane and were inserted into peanut butter. The thing about this is the package looks like it come from another state prison.
The smuggling job was exceptionally elaborate. The box included a property transfer sheet from another prison, yet there was no internal record of the package from its source. It was an outside job. And across camp, an inmate is the victim of a vicious beating. The rumor is that the inmate was just a mule, receiving the phones for Corley, and once they were discovered, the inmate threatened to snitch. The $50, the phones, and now the beating. All eyes are on Morgan Corley. E-House at Hays State Prison. Reggie Williams prepares for his morning inspection. It is a weekday ritual designed to reinforce the paramilitary structure of the prison. But Williams is already cutting corners.
Yeah, I gotta do this, do this military for. This I kind of cheat on this mess like that, because you really supposed to have it pulled back like that, but see, they don't know. See, they gotta be 6 inches like that. This stripe right here gotta go down the center of the bed. Hays prison uniform, locker layout. See how the stripes gotta be lined up like that? Socks, t-shirts. Gotta make sure all of this is put in kind of neat. Gotta make sure these stripes lined up with one another.
I make sure the flow's shining, you know. I had the buff yesterday, so now this is quote-unquote military inspection ready when I'm not even in the armed forces, never enlisted. Then when they come, I gotta stand in attention and I gotta greet them. Say, good morning, sir. How you doing, ma'am? E1 is ready for inspection. I don't like saying this chant, morning, sir, and all that. I try to look off this way to keep from saying it. I don't like saying it. Hey, put your head in the lock. Put your head in your lock. Straighten your pillow up, something. Then after that, when they leave, when they finish conducting the inspection, I gotta tell them, have a nice day. When they couldn't give a damn about how my day went. The worst part of my day.
Williams may not like Hayes' system of control, but the impact is starting to show.
I ain't got nothing, man. I ain't got nothing. Look at this. 1 bag of Dorito chips, 5 suits. Everything is dwindling away before my very eyes. So over and all, this control thing is really hindering me.
On the other side of camp, it's store day, and Morgan Corley is coming back with the maximum take, $60 worth of goods. Although it's not allowed, trade in these goods is at the heart of the inmate economy, fueling Corley's life of relative luxury.
This is stuff I just eat on and help people eat on with and pay people, little small bills like my laundry. I got a man who works in the kitchen. I give him 4 soups a night to get 2 sandwiches. You know what I mean? That'll be his pay. All right, my laundry man, I pay him $7.50 a week. I want all my clothes pressed, folded, and brought to me and laid on my bed every day. Got a guy that busts my floor. That's about $1.50 a week. Got a guy that cleans up and comes in and makes the beds every morning. I give him $1 a day. So it takes about $50 a week just to give the little people something to be comfortable with. It's about as good as you can get it in here. There's a lot of people here who don't have family and don't care about them and don't send them nothing. The guy who don't have the money is getting store goods because that's all he's looking for. He ain't trying to get out of prison. He got life without parole. It don't matter how much time they got. They just looking for cookies and cakes, and as long as they got that, they're happy.
Happiness behind bars, a strange idea, but one that Reggie Williams is desperately seeking. Happiness based on having goods of his own. After a month locked in his dorm, Williams may be getting closer to that goal. He has gotten a work detail in the kitchen. He hates the job, but is now free to roam, delivering meals across the camp. Now outside the dorm, Williams has started to hatch a plan. A plan he hopes will get him what he wants: store goods. It's a plan that requires a partner. Williams wants to hire an inmate to rob another, then offer the victim protection from future theft. So 2 nights a week, he has started attending church. It is here that Williams finds a willing ally. On his way back to the dorm, Williams pays his partner with the last of his store goods. The robbery scam is in motion.
I got them 2 suits and an apple pie.
This handoff is just one of the ways inmates try to skirt the system in the controlled world of Hayes. Church may be a call to faith for some, but for others, it's a place to do business. A job on the yard may look like a way to pass the time, but it is also the hub of a bustling trade in store goods and contraband. Transfers happen on the sly. A close pass between 2 inmates can be a handoff. Any moment away from direct supervision is an opportunity. Even sports can be more than the physical outlet they might seem to be. Morgan Corley has been laying low since his release from the hole. The very picture of a model inmate playing third base for his dorm. He's even helped lead the team into the playoffs. But there's more going on than just softball. Outdoor time, or yard call, buzzes with communication.
Yard calls may have several buildings coming out. You have a couple of hours to yourself to talk. But sometimes when I want to deal with people one-on-one, if I can't get in touch with them any other way, I'll write the information down. And a safe way to travel with it, you definitely don't want to keep it in your pockets or anywhere in your shoes. They make you take your shoes off sometimes. They'll check your shoes. So you don't want it in your shoe or in your socks or in your pockets, because they'll check your pockets and they'll pat you down. Okay, then they might go around your waist like this, but they very seldom do they make you take your belt off. And I put me a little letter behind here.
They are the tricks of the trade learned from a life of crime. But running drugs and cell phones requires more than just influence over inmates. It requires outside help. Help from a source that threatens the security of the prison itself: corrections officers.
Probably one of my biggest threats is having a dirty staff, because what we have someone who has compromised that badge.
I'll take, maybe a couple $100 and take to an officer and just flash it on them, ask them, are they by the book? I'll kind of just go about my own way, and then, they'll kind of get curious.
Once an inmate can get a correction officer to give him anything or to do anything that he's not supposed to do, he has him at that point in time.
One phone, I'll give them $500 and just tell them to bring me a phone. And when they bring the phone, pretty much they cross the line then, so I got them,
Once they've compromised that badge and they have, taken sides with an inmate, gonna be weapons, drugs, money, cell phones, whatever it may be, now at that point in time, has an opportunity to walk through my gates and come inside of my prison.
It is a problem the state takes seriously. Officers are fired for getting too close to inmates. And Georgia recently enacted a new law. Possession of a cell phone inside prison is now a felony, punishable by up to 5 years hard time. Yet cell phones, drugs, and weapons still make their way in. So twice a month in the state of Georgia, a massive force deploys. Their mission: clean out the prisons. At a remote rest stop in central Georgia, a force is gathering before the dawn. 205 members of the Department of Corrections Elite Tactical Squad are falling in. They have driven in from all over the state of Georgia, many through the night, for an action 5 days in the planning. It is called an unannounced controlled shakedown, and it is run like a secret military operation. In the mobile headquarters, Director of Special Operations Rick Jacobs is beginning to brief the heads of each unit.
All right, listen, we got a big job to do today. If we hit the building, we hit the back gate, we go to the lockdown area, make sure we go to isolation first. You got F1.
Unannounced controlled shakedowns are called unannounced controlled shakedowns for a reason. Matter of fact, Commissioner Jim Donald in the Georgia Department of Corrections, we do not even inform him that we're taking teams into a particular facility until the morning of those shakedowns.
You got to set up the external perimeter with one squad.
Today's target is Telfair State Prison, a close security facility 45 minutes away from the gathering point.
Make sure we get K9 in there to check those cells. We got a good process on doing drug screens on any inmates that run hot on a dog. Got me? Anybody got any questions? No, sir. Y'all get out of here. And we got a big job to do. We got 1,216 inmates to shake down today. I want every inmate thoroughly shook down. Don't patty cake with an inmate. I want them thoroughly searched. We'll leave you with this. If we have to escort an inmate in restraints, you make sure that you are escorting the inmate's not escorting you. Keep your head in the game. The #1 thing today is our safety. Everybody 10-4. Brief your teams. Let's load up and get ready to get out of here. Thank y'all, man.
The warden at Telfair has no idea what's coming. Jacobs makes the call.
Good morning, warden. Good. How you doing? I got you. Listen, let me tell you, Fred, we're coming to see you this morning. We're going to shake down your main compound. Okay, here's what I need. Make sure that entire facility is locked down. Unless me and you are communicating about it, there shouldn't be an inmate moving anywhere unless me and you both know about it, okay?
The warden, and I recall those days being a warden, what they're thinking right then. And it's something like this. Oh no, they're coming to my prison today. And are we ready?
The convoy rolls out, stretching nearly half a mile in length.
We have 47 vehicle convoy, 205 staff members to include tactical squad members, K9 units, legal monitors, investigative monitors, and operational support logistics staff. We're turning on the main road now to the prison. We've got about 2¼ miles to get to the facility itself. And we'll see how inmates react today. Okay, we're at Telfair State Prison. It is 7:46, and we are right on time. 10-4, we're 1023, your institution. We'll be standing by at your back gate. All right, let's load up and go. Listen up to me right quick, team. Been here before, done this one time before, just a couple of times. I got to make sure you got your head in the game today. We know what building we're going to. We know we're headed to lockdown. Everybody ready to do a job? Well, by God, let's do it right then. Let's do it right.
At the gate, the TAC squad prepares for its entrance, one designed to make an impression on both the inmates and the officers.
Lightning, straight. Now who rock? Who rock this house? We rock this house.
With their black uniforms, army boots, and pepper guns, the squad smacks of an invading force. But it is a restrained show of power, marching in lockstep, maintaining formations, the ultimate demonstration of the paramilitary ethos of the Georgia prison system, and a lead-up to an action like no other. Once inside the main gate at Telfair State Prison, the shakedown begins in earnest. The tactical squad breaks into 4 teams, each heading to different parts of the prison. It is a highly coordinated effort, designed to blanket the facility and root out contraband.
When inmates move, contraband moves. And so we recognize that. It's all about containment, no inmate movement whatsoever. At that point, they lack the ability to move contraband. So once we isolate and contain an inmate, it's easier to search an inmate.
Get him out the window, get him out the window. Step to the right.
The force employs dogs, hand searches for weapons, cell phone detectors, and spot drug testing.
Testing for marijuana, THC. 30 can go back, he's positive.
One thing that we always have to keep in mind is inmate management is not personal. This is a business, this is what we do.
While the TAC squad shakes down the dormitories, Jacobs is behind the scene with prison staff, reinforcing policy and use of force tactics.
Go. Stop resisting! Stop resisting! What's secure?
All designed to keep the rules of control at the prison on track.
In this particular case, Telfair State Prison, which we conducted the unannounced controlled shakedown, there were some indicators that were telling us that perhaps we needed to go in, that they had discovered some contraband cell phones, some contraband etched weapons, some controlled substances. They were having a few issues in those areas.
By mid-morning, that intelligence is confirmed. The first shanks of the day are uncovered.
That's a good one.
This would be classified as an edged weapon shank, and this would be what we'd classify as a poker. Believe it or not, this is more deadly than this. Because if you heart punch this, or kidney punch this, or liver punch this, it's internal damage you may not even pick up. You won't realize this until it's too late. The type of infections that this will give you, because of the deepness of the wound versus this. Easily treatable versus this. Both will kill you. Let's not lose sight of that. But offensive, usually defensive.
Today's shakedown is considered a success. 6 shanks, gallons of homemade alcohol, and dozens of contraband items are cleared from the prison.
Who rock this house? We rock this house.
But despite the scale and force of the shakedown at Telfair, shanks and weapons still find their way behind these walls. The battle for control in Georgia's prisons just never ends. Back at Hayes, Reggie Williams is headed out for another night at church. It is a crucial moment. Williams is going to meet up with his partner in crime to find out whether his robbery plan worked.
Understand what kind of a loving God you are and how you want us to relate to others.
Let's go for church. You're 230 top.
Yeah, Williams, 230 top.
Another night at church for Reggie Williams.
Precious Father, we thank you for...
But while many are here to pray, Williams has a different agenda.
Pray that you will be with us in this room tonight. Amen.
Williams is quietly finalizing a transaction, and although it may not look like it, a handoff is occurring. He's hiding store goods under his shirt, concealing them for a trip back to his cell.
I had to work around 2 lieutenants and a sergeant and an officer to try to, get my things, conceal my stuff, and get it back to the dormitory.
Using church as a cover, Williams orchestrated a classic scheme. He paid a fellow inmate to rob someone and convinced the victim that the only safe place for his stored goods was in Williams's locker.
I was able to engineer a situation and make it look like a theft actually took place to give somebody a false sense of security and have them to trust me with their belongings. So now I got their belongings, and now they're gonna have to pay a percentage.
For tonight, at least, Williams has beaten Hayes' system of control. And for the first time since arriving at the prison, his locker box is full.
I feel like I have some type of economic security in here, something that's gonna sustain me for a minute. It means that my survival tactics are working for me. They're benefiting me. That, it means that, this will take me a little further down the road, to take me a little further in this little pathetic life that I have now.
Cookies and cakes, Those kind of hustles are just cookie and cake hustles. There's no way I can make money like that. They can't do what I do. I'm the big piece to the puzzle, what keeps it going.
In the inmate barbershop, Morgan Corley's day is winding down. He may look calm and collected, but rumors are circulating that weigh heavily on his mind.
When I got locked down and went to the hole, this guy ended up, having some problems, and he got sent to medical, so he was trying to retaliate. He put I guess a $1,500 hit on my head. Once I got the word of it, I went ahead and talked to a few people. I got a couple of Spanish guys, and another guy's in with GD. He kind of steps behind, walks behind. He walks around with a shank in his pocket. If anything comes, he's go ahead and act on that and just take care of whoever walks up.
It is protection that comes at a price. Tonight he's hosting an exclusive party for his crew, a chain gang feast. Cooking in the mop bucket are burritos made from store goods and contraband items skimmed from the kitchen.
Pickles, onions, jalapenos, refried beans, bacon and cheddar, and rolled it up in tortilla shells.
Burrito with a pot of lemonade. Coffee made happen, you feel me?
But making things happen may be wearing thin.
I'm getting older, and the chances of taking it, the risk that's involved just ain't worth it anymore. Open it up and drop it in your bowl. That's why I've pretty much come to an end. I'm about on my retirement stages now. I'm comfortable now, and I got enough to be comfortable with, but still, there's always more. Better is possible, good is not enough, and, better is always possible.
Morgan Corley says he's retired. The investigations into his running drugs and cell phones are ongoing, and he's continuing to lay low. Tonight, though, he has one final stop, one final visit, a final transaction before calling it a day.
Yeah, that's them Tweety Birds, the eggs.
The yellow Tweety Birds.
You get one of them, bro.
A drug deal of ecstasy behind bars.
So you might as well enjoy yourself when you're in the chain, and this is just part of living, you know what I'm saying?
I know the challenges of managing a facility, and they are extensive. They're great. And in Georgia right now, we're managing offenders longer than we ever have. And when you're managing an offender longer, they have become more institutionalized in their culture. And they've become smarter in how to manage their culture day to day.
Reggie Williams is still in E-House, still working in the kitchen. His store goods, though, are dwindling again, and he is looking for his next mark.
I'm brainstorming on a day-to-day basis, trying to come up with new ways to survive. Every week when they go to the store, it's like I go to the store. Because somebody, some kind of way, somehow, is going to contribute to my cause. That's how I survive. And I know my survival depends on how violent I can get. My survival depends on how ruthless I can get. So that's my reality right now.
And Deputy Warden Taylor, he continues his daily shakedowns for contraband, swimming against a seemingly never-ending tide.
In this game right here, we don't lose, we can't lose. I don't care what it is, we're gonna win.
And it's a constant battle of trying to find out what they're doing, who's doing what, when, how, and then catching it. I didn't put you here. I didn't give you a sentence, I didn't charge you, I didn't arrest you. But once you are here, there are rules and regulations you have to follow, regardless of your situation.